Nandito na po ba? Roll call po tayo, section F. Pa-raise naman po ng hands sa mga section F. Ayan, madami na din. Okay, how about section G? Dadalawa po ang section G? Tatlo, apat. Okay, how about section H? H. Apat ang section H. 5. Okay. Ayan. Ereg A. Asan po ang mga ereg A? PP2. Okay. Okay. About wala na. Ilan tayo ngayon? 124. Okay. May humahaba tayo, Ma'am Connie? Mukhang hindi na tayo madalan.
Hindi ulit tayo abutin ng
Okay
5
po.
o'clock.
Abutin tayo ng 6. Ay, hindi na ngayon. Siguro, lang, hanggang 5 na lang. OT tayo. Overtime tayo ng 1 hour, kumbaga.
Mahaba kasi talaga to.
Yes. Information overload na naman ng mga bata nito sa atin. Basta pagdating sa PEDYA, expect nila, ay, matagal na naman sila pag-discuss ng mga yan, sabi nila. Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, recording na ako. Yun ang nakalimutan ko kahapon. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Klaro po ba ang aking boses sa lahat? Okay, walang reaction, wala akong kausap. Okay, so today we will discuss the health promotion for the newborn. So ang focus po natin is the immediate care of the newborn, the physical and systemic assessment, the routine newborn care, and the common neonatal health problems. So tatandaan po natin na ang bata ay galing po yan sa sinapupunan sa loob ng tiyan. Ilang months po siya doon mula nung nagawa? 9 months. So the first hour po, paglabas po niya sa sinapupunan, yun po ang pinaka-importante po dito. Okay. Now, so the health promotion begins kailan? Immediately after birth. So paglabas po ng ulo ng baby, meron ka nang kailangan gawin. So the first minute and hours are the critical period. Why? Because the newborn must adapt quickly. Para saan? Para huminga, to breathe air and maintain the body temperature and to function independently from the placenta. So nursing care during this period is directed towards survival. Kailangan po natin i-prevent ang complications or possible complications and also to recognize early problems during this time. Isipin po natin ha, so ang bata nasa loob po yan ng sinapupunan. Nung nasa loob po ba siya ng sinapupunan, humihinga po ba ang bata doon? Humihinga po ba si baby sa loob? Yes or no? Anyone? Okay, yes kapag thumbs up. Kapag no, thumbs down. So, okay, hindi kayo active ha. So, ang bata po sa loob ng sinapupunan ay hindi po humihinga. So, kailan siya unang hihinga? Paglabas po niya. So, paglabas po ng bata, doon po siya unang hihinga sa pamamagitan ng pag-iyak.
Ma'am Merlin,
Yes, ma'am.
mag-roll call ka dito sa mga attendees natin para malaman natin kung nandyan talaga silang nakaupo.
Okay ha, dahil hindi kayo
Yes. Pag hindi sasagot, ibig sabihin
walang
wala siya
sasagot,
dyan.
magro-roll call ako. Wait.
Yes.
Ayun. Pick random user. Doon pala siya. Pick random user. Okay, let's proceed. So, ayan. So, the major priorities po natin are the airway, the breathing, the circulation, the thermoregulation, and early detection of the problem. So, doon po papasok ang ABC. Guys, paki-on nga po ang inyo pong mga camera. Lahat po ay magbukas ng camera, hindi lamang po kami ni Ma'am Connie. Lahat ng attendees magbukas ng camera. Titignan ko kung kayo po ay naka-uniform o baka nakahilata pa po kayo dyan. Aantukin po kayo nun. So, ang priority po natin is the B and pag sinabi po na is the air breathing and C stands for circulation. Susunod po doon si thermoregulation. So a newborn who cannot maintain an airway, who cannot breathe effectively, and cannot maintain a body temperature can deteriorate. So, po dyan, newborn 0 to 8 days, kapag first week, 7 to 12 neonatal period. Hindi na po siya newborn, infant na. So, yan. Nakikita natin ang bagong panganak. So, the first task of the newborn is to adapt successfully. Saan? Sa extrauterine life. When you say extrauterine life, paglabas po ng sinapupunan. Kailangan niyang gawin is to adapt. How? Yan. Ito po yung mga goal natin. Una is to establish and maintain, support respiration, and to provide warmth and prevent hypothermia. Pag sinabing hypothermia, hypo, mababa. Mababa ang kanyang temperatura. That's hypothermia. Next, to ensure safety and prevent injury and infection and identify actual or potential problem that may require immediate intervention. So sa tingin po ninyo, dito po sa goals po dito, alin po dito ang first priority paglabas po ni baby or pagkapanganak po niya? Ano po yung first priority po natin? Okay. Yes, Mr. Emmanuel.
Kung skin to skin with mother po, ma'am.
Skin to skin with mother. Anyone else? Any answer? Aside from yes, Rain, Icon. Yes. So, the breathing. So, ang priority po natin is first, yes, Mr. Emmanuel. Okay. Ang pinaka-priority po namin is to maintain a path and ay. Isipin po ninyo, bata, pag meron na doon, anong unang gagawin paglabas ng ulo? So after the delivery of the head, una pong gagawin is to wipe. First, the mouth. Second, the nose. Bakit kaya mauuna na iwa-wipe ang mouth kaysa sa nose? Or bakit kaya kailangang isaction muna ang mouth bago ang nose? Bakit hindi pwedeng ilong muna isa-suction po natin? Bakit kailangan bunganga muna? Anyone?
Doon humihinga yung baby, ma'am.
Doon humihinga yung baby? Anyone else? Rose? Yes, Mr. Cruz? Bukod sa doon humihinga si baby, bakit kailangan bunganga muna?
Opo.
Yes po.
Ma'am, kasi po do'n po malalaman na okay po siya kapag umiinom, kaya
Muna. Okay, Del Rosario. Okay, Mona Lisa.
Hello po, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, kasi po para 'di ba po, para makaiyak po siya kung ano man po yung, inom niya sa loob. Kasi in some cases 'di ba po or naman po yung nakuha nila sa loob ng tiyan ni mami para po mawala po yun ta's makaiyak po siya ng maayos.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, nga muna so mouth, nose. So kalin yan. Kasi remember, di ba, may mga secretions po yan. Mga secretions po sa buwangay. Asan ang malaki aspiration? When you say aspiration, yung secretions or fluids pwede saan ang mas malaking chance ng aspiration? Sa bunganga po ba o sa ilong? Sa bunganga. Yes, ang gagawin natin, the bulb or the bulb syringe. Suction bulb or the bulb syringe. So una, compress mo po muna. So for example, ito po yung bulb. Una kong gagawin, ipipress mo siya. And then saka mo ilalagay sa bungangan bat. And release. That's the suction. Nakikita niyo ba yung nasa picture? Sa ito po na case na to, sa scenario na to, this is cesarean section. Cesarean section delivery. Meron pong hawak-hawak, it's either the surgeon or the cross na suction bulb. So, naka-open yung mouth, sinasuction po niya. Okay. Next, pag nasuction na yung bunganga, clear na yung sa bunganga niya, then sunod po sa ilong. Okay. So, number 4, oral meals cause the newborn to cough and gag 12 to 18 hours of sleep. Kailangan po si baby So sa side lying po kasi, sa side lying po natin dapat ang mukha din ay naka-side. Ha? So Trendling bird, so eto, lingkul po siya. Yes, that's the trendling bird. To facilitate na na remove may obstruct they are as natin. Kauna ng camera. Balik po ng ilong. That's the nares. Kailangan po free from secretions kasi na-suction din po. Next. Okay, so failure to establish a clear airway can lead to hypoxia, and if not corrected, possible death. Kapag sinabi pong hypoxia, hypo, mababa. Hypo, mababa, decrease. Siya, that's oxygen. So, decrease ang oxygen niya. Dahil hindi ka nakapag-establish ng patent airway. Possible death din po. So, this is why airway assessment is not simply a routine step. It is a life-saving priority po, ha? So, signs of respiratory difficulty requires immediate assessment and appropriate intervention. Mamaya, ipapakita po natin. So, next, patent na ang airway niya ng bata. Anong susunod po na gagawin natin? Maintenance of appropriate body temperature. Why? Kasi ang bata, pag lumabas, naka-aircon. Bakit? Ang OR po kasi at delivery room po ay air-conditioned. Ngayon, si baby, nasa loob ng tiyan, warm po sa loob. Tapos biglang lalabas siya, sobrang lamig. Possible po na magkaroon ng hypothermia. When you say hypothermia, hypo, decrease. Mababa. Thermia, that's temperature. So, decrease ang kanilang temperature. Tatandaan po na ang newborn ay hindi pa po siya nag-shiver. Hindi pa po siya nagaganon. Para po maiwasan, pwede pong ilagay si baby sa drop light or infant warmer. Kaya paglabas ni baby, dry po kaagad. Pupunasan, di ba? Nung paglabas ng ulo, wina-wipe mo na kaagad yung mouth and nose niya. Pag hinila yung ulo, labas na lahat ng katawan, nilagay sa tiyan ni mommy, that's the time i-wipe mo na po kaagad. Yung basta na pinang-wipe mo, tanggalin mo po kaagad, palitan mo siya ng panibago. At nakalagay po dito, initial temperature of the newborn is checked per rectum to rule out imperforated anus. Ano pong ibig sabihin niya? So paglabas po ni baby, check po natin ang temperature niya. Saan po tayo nag-check ng temperature niya? Unang-una. Saan po? Sa puwet. Per rectum. So temperature per rectum. Per rectum, anus po. Why? To check kung patent ba? To check for the patency of the anus kung meron bang butas ang kanyang puwet. Kasi pag wala pong butas, ito po yung tinatawag na imperforate anus. Walang butas ang kanyang puwet. So, next po tayo. So, newborn, immature pa po ang kanilang thermoregulation. Kaya po sila at risk na magkaroon ng hypothermia. Ang thermoregulation po, ito po yung kakayahan ng bata na na maging stable yung kanyang temperature despite na sobrang lamig sa labas. Kasi yung thermoregulation po ng bata ng mga newborn is immature. Kaya nga, yung cold stress po na yan, pwede pong makataas ng metabolic demand ng bata. Kaya iwasan po natin magkaroon ng hypothermia. Next, intervention. So yan yung sinabi ko kanina. So the key nursing interventions include the drying of the newborn immediately and remove wet linens. So the newborn may be placed under the radiant warmer or skin-to-skin contact. O that's the unang yakap with the mother. Sa skin-to-skin, skin-to-skin. So, yung skin ni baby, ididikit din sa skin ni mommy. Paano po yun? Ganyan po. Ito yung nakikita mo. Wait lang. Zoom in po natin. So, ayan. So, si mommy, yung damit niya, walang damit sa tiyan. So, yung skin ni mommy lalapat sa skin ni baby. So, paglabas ni baby, hindi po siya nilalagyan ng damit kaagad. Hindi po pinaghihiwalay si mommy at saka si baby. Anong nilalagay lang kay baby? The bonnet. Bonnet. Para ma-maintain yung pag-warm at maiwasan ng hypothermia. So yan, that's the unang yakap. Hindi po pinaghihiwalay. At dito din na time na to, si baby, tataas siya yung ulo niya, hahanapin niya yung nipple ni mommy. Doon na magsisimula yung breastfeeding. Nung nanganak din po ako sa mga sa public hospital po, ito po talaga yung ginagawa. That's the unang yakap. Yan din yung ginawa ko nung pagkapanganak ko. At talaga makikita mo na yung anak mo, hanapin niya yung nipple, tapos isasak na po niya. Doon na mag-start yung sucking reflex. So that's the newborn care or the unang yakap. So next, ayan yung sinabi ko kanina, naglalagay ng cup and warm blanket sa likod ni baby to reduce heat loss. And temperature po, kung saan manganganak si baby, the delivery room man yan or sa OR, this is not negative 26 ha. This is 26 degrees Celsius or in Fahrenheit, that is 78 degrees Fahrenheit. So the environmental temperature and immediate drying are simple nursing action na malaki ang epekto nito sa baby for the thermoregulation. So, na-maintain na natin ang patent airway, na-thermoregulate na natin si baby, anong susunod na natin gagawin? Diyan na yung immediate assessment of the newborn. Sa immediate assessment of the newborn, meron po tayong tinatawag na APGAR scoring. Ano nga ba itong APGAR scoring? So, APGAR scoring, this is the one component of the assessment, followed by the respiratory evaluation and the gestational age assessment that will be tackled later. Now, APGAR, when you say APGAR score quick. Mabilisang assessment. Perform when? Perform 1 and 5. And po yan ha, hindi po 2, 5. 1 and 5. Kailan ginagawa ulit ang APGAR? Tatandaan, 1 and 5 minutes after birth. So the APGAR is a rapid assessment tool that should be interpreted together with the newborn's overall clinical conditions. Bakit nga ba ginagawa ang APGAR? Ang APGAR ay ginagawa para malaman kung ang bata ba ay nakapag-adapt na sa extrauterine life during the first 1 and 5 minutes after birth. Ang APGAR po, ito po ay abbreviations. So A stands for, ayan. So APGAR. Kaya po siya score kasi magi-score po kayo. Meron po itong numbers. So A stands for appearance. So ano ang titignan po natin sa appearance? Yung color po ni baby, the color of the baby. Meron po katumbas na 0, 1, and 2. Kapag mas malaki yung points, ibig sabihin mas maganda ang score. So kapag ang kulay po ni baby ay blue or pale, that is 0. 1 point naman kapag ang katawan ay pink pero ang extremities, the hands and the feet are blue. Pero ang katawan ay pink, that's 1 point. That is acrocyanosis. Other term for this is acro, A-C-R-O-C-Y-A-N-O-S-I-S, acrocyanosis. And kapag lahat po ng katawan po niya ay pink, that is 2 points. That's for the A, appearance. Now, let's proceed to letter P. P is for the pulse. Anong number ang tatandaan mo pagdating sa pulse? That's 100. Kapag absent, that's 0. Kapag less than 100, that is 1. Pag 100 and above, that is 2. So, kapag pulse ang natatandaan, 100. Blue, lahat and kapag ang kamay and the legs are flexed, that is 1 point. Pero kapag ang bata ay active, galaw ng galaw, that is 2 points. That's the activity. Now, for the respiration, ano ang tatandaan natin sa respiration? Vigorous cry. So kapag umiiyak si baby, paglabas, ibig sabihin humihinga si baby. Kaya ang pinakamagandang indication, vigorous cry. Kapag naman is slow and irregular breathing, respiration, that is 1. Pag wala, absent. Nasundan po ba ako? Apgar po natin. Napaka-importante po ito na assessment po ha. After birth. Saan po ito ginagawa? Dahil ito 5 minutes, ginagawa kung sa delivery room din. Hindi po ito sa ward ginawa. Okay. Baliktad. Ulit tayo. A4. Sabayan niyo ako. A4. Open your mic. A4. Appearance. Anong chine-check natin sa appearance?
Skin color.
The color. Then P is for
Pulse.
pulse. Ano sa pulse? 1. Kapag above 1, that's 2. Pag below 100, that is
0.
1.
1 po.
Below 100, that is 1. Pag negative po, ibig sabihin walang pulso, that is 0. Now, G4,
Grimace.
grimace. Anong check natin sa grimace?
Reaction.
Yes, response to the stimulation. Now, A4,
Activity.
A for apple. A for activity. Activity is the maybe moving or naka-flex ba yung kanyang kamay. That's for the activity. And R for
Spirit.
kung umiyak si baby o hindi. Okay? Kuha po. Huwag kakalimutan yan. The Apgar score. Now, let's proceed. So, ito, example. So, a newborn has a heart rate of 120, rises strongly, moves actively, has a pink body with blue hands and feet, and cough when stimulated. So, gagawa ngayon, mag-score tayo. Appearance, yan na kasi. So, appearance, anong appearance natin? 1. Bakit 1? Why 1?
Dahil po, hindi
Not 2. Yes, blue hands. Meron tayong acrocyanosis. So, dapat pink lahat. Ngayon, blue hands, blue feet. Kaya 1. Now, pulse. 2. Why 2?
Above 100.
Above
Kasi,
100.
Above 100
yes.
po.
Sabi kanina, tatandaan is 100. Umabot siya ng 100. That's why it's 2. Now, grimace. Grimace? Sabi niya, cough when stimulated. So, 2. Now, activity. Moves actively. That's why it's 2. Now, respiration.
Cries strong.
Cries strongly. That makes 2. So, total mo yan, 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, that's 9. 9 out of 10. Ilang beses ginagawa ulit ang UPGAR?
1 and 5 minutes.
And 5 minutes.
Ilang beses ginagawa ang UPGAR?
Dalawa.
Alang,
Twice.
lang.
Dalawa.
Dalawa. Okay, dalawang beses. 1 and 5 minutes. So, after 1 minute, 9 siya. And then, after 5 minutes, kunin mo ulit yung UPGAR score. Paano naman kapag ang UPGAR score ay below 7? Punta tayo sa interpretation muna. Okay. Kapag 0 to 4, 4. Syempre, negative pulse, negative breathing, do the rescue. Do the resuscitation. Rescue breathing, CPR. Tag 0 to 3. Now, kapag 4 to 6, that is fair. Kailangan ng suctioning and oxygen. Lalo na kapag iba yung kulay ni baby. Kasi baka mamaya, madami secretion sa bunga niya. And it's, pag 7 to 10, that's good. Ibig sabihin, kaya ng batang makapag-adapt. Now, paano kapag 1 minute, 4 ang score? So, you do the suctioning and oxygenation. Then, on the 5 minutes, you assess again, naging 6. So, titigil na. Hindi. So, another 5 minutes hanggang 30 minutes. So, kapag below 7, you assess every 5 minutes up to 2 minutes. Na tayo kay Silverman-Anderson Index. So, Silverman-Anderson Index, this is all for evaluation. So, ayan, makikita po natin that this helps the nurse to assess the severity of the respiratory distress. Pag meron kang nakitang signs of respiratory distress, ito po yon. Meron pong grade 0, 1, and 2. Sa grade 0, ayan po yung normal. Ito po yung dapat na expected na sa kanyang paghinga, yung movement ng kanyang upper chest, it should be synchronous, sabay. Synchronous. And sa lower chest retraction, dito, ano napansin mo dito? Lumabas yung ribs niya habang humihinga siya. Stable siya. Dito, wala kang lumalabas yung ribs niya. Ibig sabihin, walang ginagamit na accessory muscle. There's no use of accessory muscle. So, that's normal. So, dapat ang retraction, in the lower chest, and even in the xiphoid, dapat wala. Asa na yun yung mga xiphoid? Asa xiphoid, at kapag sa xiphoid, habang humihinga, pag humihinga si baby at doon lumulubog, pero nag-accessory sa hirap yung batang huminga nares, yung papalaki ng papalaki. So, dapat walang dilatation. When you say dilatation, lumalaki yung butas. Nagda-dilate. That's dilatation of the nares. Ang normal, dapat wala. Pero kapag nakita mo na merong nagda-dilate ito, alam mo yung paraang busingar sa Ilocano, so yun po yun. Ibig sabihin, hirap si babyng huminga. Now, expiratory grunting. So, kailan yan? During the expiration. Doon naririnig. So, inhale, exhale, dapat wala. Pero kapag na-auscultate mo, doon narinig yung auscultation, expiratory grunting, that is 1. Pero sa air, ganito po yun, no? Mm, mm, ganon. That's the grunting. Nakuha po ba si Silverman-Anderson Index? So, ito pong grade 0, these are normal. Next, for the gestational age assessment. So, sa gestational age assessment naman po natin, meron po tayong tinatawag na preterm. O, ilang age of gestation ulit kapag preterm? Recap po tayo.
36 to 20 weeks, ma'am.
Parang baliktad yata, no? 20 to 36 weeks. So, pag preterm, 36 and below. Thank you. Now, term. Anong age of gestation kapag term?
37 to 40 weeks, ma'am.
37 to 40 weeks, okay. Paano naman kapag post-term? Yes po, Candice, Kate. Candice, go ahead.
Uy, daspan namin talaga yung nagsata.
Oh, Francesca. Maingay. Uy, yung mic mo, uy. Oh, ayan, nakita. Narinig na
Sorry
lahat.
po.
Okay. Okay, Francesca, dahil naka-on ang mic mo, anong age of gestation kapag post-term? Okay, go ahead, Candice. Tulungan mo si Francesca. That's 42 weeks. That's 42 weeks. So, ito po yan. So, for the gestational assessment, mamaya ha, dadako po tayo doon. Meron po tayong ginagamit na Ballard scoring. O, kanina, meron pong gestational tuloy. Meron pong Apgar scoring. Ngayon naman, we have the Ballard scoring system. Kailan ba ginagamit ang Ballard scoring? So, ginagamit ang Ballard scoring para malaman ang estimate gestational age ni baby. Kapag si mommy hindi alam kung kailan ang kanyang last menstrual period, or si mother has had an irregular menstrual cycle, or hindi nagawa ang ultrasound or early ultrasound on the first trimester, or kapag hindi plinano ang pagbubuntis, hindi niya alam, manganganak na pala siya, so hindi alam ang age of gestation ni baby. And last, kapag nilabas si baby, hindi ugma yung sinasabi ni mommy sa mismong nakikita mo sa bata paglabas niya. So, kunwari, sinabi ni mommy na 9 months naman siya, 40 weeks siya. Paglabas ni baby, parang nakita mo is 36 weeks lang, parang premature. So, ito po yan, gumagamit po tayo ng Ballard scoring system. So, in the Ballard scoring system, meron po tayong preterm, term, and post-term. Mamaya. So, sa preterm, that is 36 and below. 36 and below, that's the preterm. Sa term naman po, that is 37 to less than 42 weeks. That's the term. Kapag post-term naman, that is 41 weeks and more. That's the post-term. So in the Ballard scoring, meron pong 12 characteristics na minimeasure po natin. So first, we assess the neuromuscular maturity. It has 6 items. We have the posture, square window, the arm recoil, popliteal angle, scalp sign, heel to ear. And for the physical maturity, that's for the neuromuscular maturity. Now, for the physical maturity, ano minimeasure naman natin? The skin, the lanugo, plantar creases, the breast tissue, the eyes or the ears, and the genitalia. So, 6 plus 6, that is 12. For the neuromuscular maturity, the more mature the baby, the greater the muscle tone and resistant to movement. So, yun ang wag kakalimutan. Sa neuromuscular maturity, the more mature si baby, when you say the more mature, the more na mas term si baby, mas umabot siya ng 37 weeks, the greater the muscle tone and resistant to movement. So, dito, sa puso, kapag less mature si baby, ano napansin niyo sa kamay niya? More relaxed. And the arms and the legs are extended. Nakaunat lamang. So kapag ganyan ang nakita mo, ito po yung score niya. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the more relaxed si baby, the less mature. And the more na ang arms and hands niya are extended. Now, kapag mature naman si baby, mapapansin mo po ang arms and legs niya are flexed. Flex na ganyan. Arms and legs are flexed. And the baby at a curled up position. Di ba naka-ganun lang siya noong nasa loob siya ng sinapupunan. So, ganun yung expect mo dapat na position ni baby. So, the more mature, the more ang flexion. That's for the posture. Now, let's proceed to number 2, the square window. So for the square window naman, the baby is gently bent down to the forearm. So the baby's arm is gently bent down to the forearm. So we observe the angle between the palm and the forearm. So yan. So kapag mas nabibend nito, mas less mature si baby. Pero kapag meron siyang resistance, mas more mature si baby. So, ito yung nakikita mo dito. Oh. Yan. Next, for the arm recoil. For the arm recoil naman, the baby's arm is gently extended and then released. So, sa arm recoil naman, kapag yung kamay nakaganyan, no? Kukunin mo siya, iuunat mo siya, ilalagay mo siya dito sa kanyang katawan. Extend, that's extend. Extend mo siya ng ilang segundo. And then, re-release mo. Tatanggalin mo yung kamay mo. And then, ano mo observe natin? Kung bumalik ba kaagad yung kamay ni baby sa ganitong posisyon. Now, kapag mabagal or little lang yung pagbalik ni baby sa ganitong posisyon, that's less mature. Pero kapag mabilis, at mas flex yung position ni baby, they are more mature. Kaya pansinin mo yung 4, ang kamay niya, na ganyan. Yung 3, nakaganyan lang siya. Nakaganyan lang. So, mature muscles is stronger ang recoil. That's for the arm recoil. Now, for the popliteal angle. O, asan ang popliteal ninyo? Asan ang popliteal ninyo? Saan? Sa likod ng knees. That's the popliteal angle. So this assesses the flexibility of the baby's knees. So ano yan? Nakahiga naman dyan si baby. So the baby's thigh is brought toward the abdomen. So yung paa ni baby, yung upper thigh po niya, upper leg po niya, yung thigh po niya, ididikit po sa tiyan ni baby. Tapos yung lower leg, hahawakan, itataas siya. I-gently extend. Ina-extend yan. Ngayon, may measure naman natin yan, yung angle po niya dito. The angle. So kapag mas extended ang leg ni baby, ibig sabihin, they are less mature. And mas larger ang angle. So kapag more resistant naman, and mas kokonti yung angle naman, they are more mature. Next. For the scarf sign naman, sa scarf sign, o para siyang scarf, no? The baby's arm is gently pulled across the chest like a scarf. So, etong kamay ni baby. Ito yung kamay ni baby, kukunin mo siya, igaganyan mo. Ngayon, isusukatin mo naman kung hanggang saan yung kaya ng siko ni baby. Ngayon, kapag na-feel mo na merong resistance na hanggang dito na lang, mas matured si baby. Pero kapag hinila mo siya at andali ni baby hanggang doon, mas less mature, mas preterm si baby kapag gano'n. That's for the scarf. And then, to ear, kukunin yung paa ni baby, titignan kung kaya bang iabot sa kanyang tenga. Naririnig pa ba? Parang napindot. Naririnig niyo pa ako, guys? Okay, audible. Okay, next, asan na ako? So, for the heel to ear, ngayon, kapag ang bata, mas more ang resistance, ibig sabihin, mas matured. Pero kapag kaya niyang i-extend yan hanggang doon sa kanyang ear, ibig sabihin, mas premature si baby, mas less mature. So, iisipin po natin kapag preterm, mas flexible and more floppy. Kapag matured, they are more resistant and more flex, mas flex for the neuromuscular. Now, let's proceed naman dito sa baba. So, dito po sa baba po na yan po ang physical maturity naman. Now, for the physical maturity, ang titingnan po natin, number 1 is the skin. So, ano makikita natin sa skin ni baby? So, the skin for the preterm, fragile. Alam mo yung parang madaling mapunit. And they may appear reddish. Kapag naman mas matured si baby, mas less transparent and more developed at mas makapal po siya. That's for the skin. Now, proceed. Lanugo. Now, what is lanugo ba? Lanugo, ito po yung balbon ni baby. At iba, minsan hala, ang balbon ni baby, siguro pinaglihim mo siya sa ganito. So, yun po yung tinatawag nila na lanugo. That's the fine, soft hair covering the newborn's body. So, buong katawan po niya, mabuho. That's for the lanugo. Now, sa lanugo naman, depende po ito sa gestational age. Usually, madaming lanugo kapag preterm. Pero kapag term naman na si baby, mostly bald, kasi natatanggal din po ito ng kusa. Now, for the plantar surface, kung sa plantar surface naman, titignan mo yung paa ni baby. Didakulap te saka na, the plantar surface of the baby. Ito po ha, example, ito yung paa ni baby. Sa plantar surface naman ni baby. Ngayon, meron kang makikitang creases. When you say creases, yung mga line po dito sa paa niya. Kapag more ang mas nakikita kang maraming creases, mas matured si baby. Pero kapag sa mga preterm babies naman, walang masyadong creases. So that's the creases. Now, next po natin is the breast. So sa breast naman po, nakikita natin, visible na ba yung areola? More developed na ba or more prominent na? So kapag mas mature, more prominent po ang areola. Kapag preterm po si baby, hindi po siya barely visible po ang areola or maliit lang. Next, for the eyes and the ears, anong ina-assess po natin is the cartilage and the eyelids. So, kapag less mature, expect po natin the cartilage is soft, poorly developed, and usually naka-fold lang siya. Kapag naka-fold lang, remain folded. Kahit hindi ko siya pina-fold, pero naka-fold lang siya. So, less mature po si baby. Kapag more mature, of course, mas firm yung kanyang cartilage. At kapag finold mo siya, bumabalik siya sa dati. That's for the eye and the ear. And the next for the genitals. So, kapag lalaki naman po, expect po natin, mas mature si baby kapag yung testes po niya is nakadescend, nakababa. And the scrotum becomes more developed, yung wrinkled. Nakita mo siya para siyang wrinkled. Diba, gano'n naman po yung mga testes po ninyo, mga kalalakihan. And now, for the girls naman po, sa mga babae naman, more mature si baby kapag yung labia majora. Dalawa pong labia natin ha. We have the labia minora and the labia majora. The labia majora po yung pinakalabas. Siya po yung nagko-cover. So kapag si labia majora ay more prominent po, mas matured po si baby. Pero kapag ang nakita mo ay clitoris ni baby at minora, mas less mature po si baby. So, ang titignan mo doon is the minora and the majora, the labia. That's for the genitalias. Ngayon, i-compute po natin. Itong violet po dito na parang violet and pink. So, yan po yung score po niya. Sa score po na yan, meron ko po siyang kalakip na weeks of gestation. So, for example, Kapag tinotal mo itong lahat, so sa posture mo ay 4, tapos sa papital angle mo ay ganito, 4 din, ito total mo po yan lahat. Kung ano yung total po niyan lahat, ito po yung sa score po niya. So sa score po na to, for example, ang score po ni baby ay 40. So sa 40 na score po niya, ang katumbas po nun is 40 weeks age of gestation. So si baby ay term. 40 weeks age of gestation. Eh paano naman kung ang score po niya is 30? So kapag ang score niya is 30, ang katumbas po nun is 36 weeks age of gestation. Huwag po kayo mag-alala dahil sa chart po ni baby, andi dito po mismo yung score. Yung katambas po na weeks. So ito po mismo yung makikita po ninyo na Ballard scoring. Sa chart po ni baby, makikita ito. Ang gumagawa din po ito sa hospital ay ang mga doktor po. Sa UDH, yung mga doktor po yan. Sila pa yung gumagawa niyan. So now, anong sunod po natin? May katanungan po ba sa Ballard scoring and UPGAR? Huwag po malilito ha. So sa Ballard scoring, minimeasure po natin is the gestational age. For the UPGAR naman, yung adaptation ni baby sa extrauterine life. Now, let's proceed to the newborn screening. Now, for the newborn screening, ano ba ginagawa sa newborn screening? So, gumukuha po tayo ng blood test. Simple blood test done pagkapanganak po ni baby. Para saan? To detect congenital metabolic endocrine genetic disorders. Bakit? Kapag po kasi ang bata ay nagkaroon po ng ganitong mga sakit at hindi naagapan, pwede po magkaroon ng mental retardation or delayed po or possible death. Saan po ito ginagawa? Sa laboratory. Ang pwedeng gumawa, pwede pong nurse, pero yung doktor, pwede din pong medtech. Pero sa hospital po, karamihan po na gumagawa po nito is the medtech. So, heel prick. So, saan po yan? Sa kanilang talampakan dito sa heel prick po nila. Sa paa. Tutusok po yan. Tapos, kukuha ng sample ng dugo. Kailan ginagawa? Ito po yung huwag kakalimutan. 24 to 72 hours. It should be 24, not 23, not 22. So kapag wala pang 24 oras, hindi po siya pwedeng gawin. Why? Kasi possible po na meron po siyang hindi ma-screen na sakit. Pwede magkaroon ng false negative na result. Now, 24 to 72 hours of life. Okay? Newborn screening. O, kailan nga ba ito ginagawa? Ano nga yung mga na-screen po niya ng mga sakit? So sa Pilipinas, we have the expanded newborn screening. So dati, newborn screening lang. Limited lang po yung mga disorders na kaya po niya ma-screen. Pero ngayon, expanded meaning to say, mas dumami, more than 20 na po ang kaya po niyang ma-screen. Libre din po ito kasi nga po dahil po sa PhilHealth. So lahat po ng mga bata bago lumabas sa birthing facility or any hospital po kung saan siya nanganak, dapat po sila po ay na-screen. May nilalagay po doon na contact number. Make sure that their contact number is accurate and tama. Dahil pag once na nagkaroon ng positive result po nito, tatawagan po kaagad yung cellphone number na yun or yung contact details po doon na sinulat ng magulang. Now, for the congenital hypothyroidism, ito po yung mga disorders po. Hindi ko na po ito tatalakayin ng bonggang-bongga ha. Kasi i-discuss po ito kailan sa next semester po. Kasi nasa well clients pa lang po tayo. So sa next semester, dun na po yung puro sakit. So for the congenital hypothyroidism naman, the baby cannot produce enough thyroid hormone. That's why kapag hindi po na-treat ito kaagad, pwede maapektuhan ang kanilang brain development and could also affect their growth. Now, for the adrenal hyperplasia naman, ang problema dito is the adrenal glands. They cannot produce certain hormones. Kapag hindi po ito naagapan, this could lead to severe dehydration, electrolyte imbalance that could lead to shock or death. For the galactosemia naman, that's for the galactose. Ang galactose po na ito, this is the sugar found in the milk. So, hindi po to properly na process ng bata. This could lead to liver problems. Now, for the G6PD naman, ito ang usual na nadidetect, the G6PD. For the G6PD naman, ang problema naman po for the G6PD is the RBC. The RBC that cannot break down easily pag na-expose ito ng triggering factor. Sa G6PD kasi may mga pagkain na hindi pwedeng kainin. Kapag yan po ay na-expose ang bata, magkakaroon ng breakdown in the RBC. Kapag nagkaroon ng breakdown sa RBC, nagkakos yun ng paninilaw. Dahil kapag namatay ang RBC, magiging dilaw. Kaya nagninilaw ang bata or hemolytic anemia. Next, PKU. Didiscussin po ito ha. So sa PKU, that's phenylketonuria, ang problema po dito is the breakdown of the phenylalanine. Kasi sa phenylalanine po na yan, kapag once accumulated po yan, naipon po sa dugo, at mapunta po yan sa utak po ng bata, pwede po magkaroon ng brain damage. Next, for the hemoglobin,
Afternoon, everyone. I'm going to discuss newborn physical examination. So for the newborn physical examination, this is a systematic head-to-toe assessment, so always remember head-to-toe assessment. Okay? Hindi pwedeng mag-shortcut. Start sa head and then matatapos sa toe. Okay, so it is performed immediately after birth and during the newborn's period to determine the baby's adaptation once he is out from the mother's womb. So, i-determine yung adaptation niya, nabanggit kanina ni Ma'am Merlin about the extrauterine life or the life outside the womb or the uterus of the mother. Okay? And of course, before taking the vital signs or before you touch the baby to assess the vital signs, you have to observe first the general appearance of the baby, in which case, nagawa na yon kanina ni Ma'am Merlin. Okay? So, first, after that, after assessing the general appearance, of course, we will be taking the vital signs. And as you all know, vital signs are the measurements of the body's most basic functions. Okay? And next to this is the temperature. It has been said a while ago that, ay wala yung kwan. Hindi pala dito ma'am yung nakwan. Ano, paano ba yon? Yung may mga picture-picture. Mamaya.
Wait, ma'am. I-take presenter ko na muna, ma'am, para ilagay ko yon.
Sige
Tapos,
po.
kunin mo din lang pagkatapos. Wait lang, ma'am. Ito yung edited. Ito kasi, ma'am, yung sayo. Yan yung sayo.
Ayan, okay.
Ayan
Sige
yung
po.
sayo. So, ikaw, ma'am, take presenter mo na ulit. Ayan. Okay po.
Thank you po. So, it has been said a while ago that the golden standard or the most accurate taking of the temperature of the baby is through rectal. Okay? To at least rule out the imperforate anus. Na-discuss po yan ni Ma'am Merlin. But then, you have to remember this. Okay? In routine, okay? Routine physical examination, the temperature is taken axillary. So pagka ang question, the routine, pag routine ha, routine physical examination, temperature is taken through axillary. But the initial temperature, we use or we take it through rectally. Okay po. Kasi, it has been explained a while ago that the baby usually, the temperature of the baby usually drops immediately right after he is born or the baby is born. Okay? So, for the temperature, the normal range is 36.5 to 37.5 degrees through axillary. Okay? And when you take the temperature of the baby, you need to assess the following problems. Whether he is hypothermic, so ibig sabihin, decrease in temperature. And na-discuss na po naman yan ni Ma'am Merlin kanina. Hypothermic, bababa, hypothermia, magi-increase ang temperature. You can also observe cold, mottled extremities. So medyo malamig ang talampakan ng baby. Then you have to be cautioned. If these abnormalities, if you will be finding such kind of abnormalities, then you have to inform the doctor. Okay? Because we do not want that the temperature of the baby will continuously drop down or increase. So it's very important to check on that. Okay? And of course, when you take the temperature, you do not expose the baby. You do not have to remove all the clothing, but you just expose the axillary area and then take as much as possible a digital thermometer. Okay po? Anyway, on how you will be taking properly the temperature, it will be discussed in the laboratory. Okay? Because you do not just take the temperature without following a proper procedure. Okay? There. Next is to take the heart rate of the baby. The normal range of the heart rate is actually 110 to 160 beats per minute. Okay? And the best way to take the heart rate of the baby is mid-clavicular line, fourth intercostal space, using a stethoscope. We actually have pulse oximetry, which we can also check the heart rate. But come to think of it, if the baby is crying, of course, the heart rate will become high. If the baby is sleeping, the heart rate can become lower. So, the best way is to take the heart rate when the baby is not crying, at rest, or calm. Okay? So you have to remember that. For respiratory rate naman, so you observe how the rise and fall of the, it's not lungs here, okay? But the abdomen, okay? Because during this time, newborn usually breathe using his diaphragm, okay? Not the chest muscle. So, abdominal breathing, ibig sabihin, the rise and fall of the abdomen, which is normal because, like what I said, the baby uses the diaphragm more rather than the chest muscles. Okay? And you have to note normal range 30 to 60 breaths per minute. And you have to observe for some irregularities. That's why you have to take or observe the proper rate, the rhythm, the depth, the chest movement, the retractions, or presence of grunting, nasal flaring, or cyanosis, which can be a sign of abnormalities. Okay? So, ang basis mo lagi is the 30 to 60 breaths per minute. And those things that I mentioned, you also have to observe and note. You have to document that, those things, okay? There. Next is the blood pressure, where the diastolic can range from 60 to 80 and systolic can range from 40 to 50 mmHg. But during routine newborn assessment, it is not checked. Okay po? Unless indicated. So kung may problem ang baby, you can take or check the blood pressure of the newborn. Okay? They have questions on that. So the vital signs, the usual. Okay? Temperature, heart rate, respirations, those are the things. Blood pressure, can only be taken unless indicated during a routine, but during a routine physical examination, it is not routinely checked. So it says there. So we go to anthropometric measurements. And we do anthropometric measurements to assess growth, nutrition, and detect anomalies. What do we use? Of course, first, a digital weighing scale, because we need to weigh the newborn. When we weigh the newborn, we have to take off her clothing. But you can also weigh the newborn, letting the newborn wear a dry diaper. But if you do so, if the newborn is wearing a dry diaper, you have to deduct the weight of the diaper from the total weight that you will be taking. Did you understand? Okay. So there are options. Either you take off the clothes or weigh the newborn with a dry diaper. But do not forget to weigh the diaper. And the weight of the diaper should be subtracted from the total weight taken. Okay? So the average weight will be 2,500 to 4,000 grams. That is equivalent to 5.5 to 8.8 pounds. Okay? If it is more than 4,000 grams, then the baby is large for gestational age. So my post-mature maybe, no? If the weight is less than 2,500 grams, this will indicate small for gestational age. Okay? So hindi tawag nito appropriate yung weight sa gestational age ng bata. Okay? That is for the weight. For the chest circumference, okay, we will be using the tape measure, wherein you need to measure, okay, you have to wrap the the baby with the tape measure and put it actually on the nipple. Okay? Wrap it and then until the nipple. Okay? And the average range, normal range is 30 to 33 centimeters. At birth, head circumference is larger than the chest circumference. So it is actually less than 2 to 3 centimeters. Okay? So head is larger for about 2 to 3 naman more. Okay? There. For the length, position the baby flat on a flat surface with the legs extended or straightened. Okay? And then you measure from the top of the head to the heel of tip of the heel of the newborn. Okay? And the average range 45 to 55 centimeters, equivalent to 18 to 22 inches. Okay? It's very important to straighten the legs. And then you do not just measure in here, but check the tip on top of the head. Okay? So, there must be a flat board or a flat ruler, and then from there, you have to measure, okay, until the tip of the heel. For the head circumference, you have to measure around the widest part of the head. Hindi lang dito, but then the widest, okay? So, the forehead, just above the eyebrow, and then wrap the tape measure, check at the back of the head, yung medyo may bukol dyan, hindi sa baba, hindi sa taas, but at least at the middle portion, okay? And the average measurement will be 33 to 35 centimeters. Okay? After 6 weeks actually, kumbaga, after 6 months, head circumference and the chest circumference of the newborn can be equal. And then after a year, chest circumference can already be bigger than the head circumference. So when you measure, and if it is larger than the average, okay, so there could be a possibility of hydrocephalus. Malaki ang ulo. Hydro kasi maaaring may fluid. And if it is smaller than the average range, possible microcephaly or a small head. Okay? So it's very important to get the correct average, taking the largest part of the head. Okay? So above the eyebrow. And then feel the back of the head of the baby. And then put the tape measure on that. And then wrap it around the head. Do you have problem with that? Anthropometric? Okay. Yes, Miss Vinuya. Do you have question? How will I? You can use the microphone. Open your mic. Miss Vinuya. How will I check this one? Ano daw ang tanong? You can open your microphone. So, anong sabi ni Miss Vinuya? So, Miss Vinuya, anong tanong? Papaiyakin yung baby to make sure the baby... Actually, di ba, ang kwan na po natin is routine physical examination. So, kumbaga, lumabas na yung baby, ito na yung routine, kasi kanina yung pagpapaiyak and all, ginawa na during the time na nag-exam si Ma'am Merlin. Okay? So, yung routine, ibig sabihin, ginagawa ito pagka magpapacheck up na yung newborn, that's why it says there, routine physical examination. Okay? Kasi kung sa pagpapaiyak, ito ba yung sa pagbe-breathing? Alam na natin na humihinga. Although, kanina, when we check the respiratory, you have to note those abnormalities. Kung may grunting, yung rhythm ng respiration, yun yung mga inoobserbahan mo. Okay? Okay ba tayo doon? Ha? Okay. Then we go to examining the skin. Okay? There are actually different signs when you check the skin of the baby. These signs can be limiting, so normal. Okay? So one sign is the Harlequin sign. Okay? So Harlequin sign is the transient color change in newborn. Half the body appears red and the other half is pale. And the cause of this is temporary imbalance in autonomic vascular control. So, hindi agad nakaka-adapt. Kumbaga, sa one side, yung blood vessels, doon yung magkakaroon ng reaction. Okay? This is usually benign. It says here it's self-limiting, but this is common in preterm infants. So kapag ganito ang itsura ng baby, yan. Half is red, and so ibig sabihin yung blood vessels na concentrate o na-focus sa isang side, and half could be pale. But we have to reassure the mother because the mother might be worried. Oh, bakit ganito yung kulay ng anak ko? Abnormality ba to? Sabihin lang na self-limiting. Mawawala din po ito in due time. Okay? Yan. And this harlequin, it says there, usually common pag preterm. So, ang sunod mo na tanong, ilang buwan po ba yung bata bago nyo inalabas? So, usually, the harlequin sign can happen on preterm infants. Okay? So, there. Another sign that you can be seeing is the cutis marmorata. And the characteristics of this, mottled, parang may batik-batik, no? Bluish red skin pattern due to dilated capillaries. So, ang cause nito is called stress, yung biglang labas ng bata. Siyempre, hindi pa kaagad makaka-adapt outside. Matagal siyang nag-stay sa womb, no? And then, paglabas, makikita nga ito, yung parang may batik-batik na gito. And this is also because of immature circulation. Kaya nga, once the baby is out, then you have to cover the baby. You can even use a warmer. Okay? There. But then, if this persists, okay? So, halimbawa, you already covered the baby, you use a warmer, but still, okay, this didn't go away, so this would indicate trisomy. Nariyan Wait Nariyan sa labas. So we indicate trisomy 18. Usually 2 copies lang. But then for trisomy, 3 copies. Okay? Ang chromosomes. Yun. And of course, would indicate heart, and kung ganito ang mangyayari at hindi na nawala despite of covering, so maybe the newborn would be having a heart or lung problems or even hypothyroidism. So kulang yung ang tawag nito, production ng hormone, okay, to the thyroid. Yun. And of course, it would also indicate problem in growth of the newborn. Okay? So you have to note on this. So ang itsura niyan, yung cutis marmorata, is like this. Yung parang may batik-batik nga. Okay? So dapat pagka once na kinover mo, use the warmer, mawawala yan. But if it persists, sabi nga, maybe there is more production of trisomy 18 na usually 2 lang, but for this one, 3 copies ang napoproduce, and that is abnormal. Of course, we will not be discussing that vividly kasi well patient pa lang tayo. But that is how it looks like. So we go to physiologic versus pathologic jaundice. Ano ang kaibahan? For physiologic jaundice, the yellowish color of the baby may appear after 24 hours of life. So after 24 hours of life. And the peak, it says here, at day 3 to 5 after birth. And the yellowish color or the jaundice is due to immature liver and increased bilirubin. When the baby becomes jaundice, in which case this is self-limiting, okay? So it will resolve